Hello, this is Doe Wilkerson with Old School Boxing Talk, my first one of 2017. And I'm gonna go over a few things that I'm reading about, listening to on YouTube, and also reading about in Bleacher Report and other publications. Let's talk about one of the biggest things that seemed to happen last year, and that was the Andre Ward Sergey Kovalev fight, and my feelings on the subject. I've always, and I still do like Sergey Kovalev. I did. I've said I believe that if Sergey Kovalev would have fought Adonis Stevenson, he beats Adonis Stevenson. If they fought now, I still believe Sergey Kovalev beats Adonis Stevenson. Now there's a lot of things about Sergey Kovalev in his personal life and whether or not he's a racist or whatever. I don't do that because I don't. The fighters I like, I don't care about them so much as people because I'm not going to get to know them as people. I care about what I see in the ring. And what I see in the ring from Sergey Kovalev is something that someone that I enjoy watching. Forget everything else outside the ring, but inside the ring, what I see from Sergey Kovalev I enjoy. Um and it's just like anything else. I mean, there's some guys that um just can't accept defeat. I also enjoy Andre Ward, and I've been a fan of Andre Ward since the Super Six. Now, before the Super Six, to be honest with you, before the Super Six, I didn't think Andre Ward did much in his career, and I didn't even think Andre Ward was really going to win the Super Six because, like I said, up until that point, Andre Ward really he was there, but he wasn't there. We didn't know much about Andre Ward. He was the last man to win an Olympic gold medal for the United States. Okay, we knew that, but early part of his pro career, Andre Ward kind of was doing his thing, was under the radar, and nobody was really, he wasn't out there like that. He was mentioned, but he wasn't, the man. He was like eventually, whatever. When the Super Six came along, and I looked at the names in there, Kessler and Froch, who I'd seen fight, excuse me, Froch, who I'd seen fight and knock out Jermaine Taylor. Um, Mikkel Kessler, I seen him fight a couple times, and the last time I seen him fight before the Super Six was when he lost to Joe Calzaghe. And a lot of these guys, when I looked those two guys, I felt either Froch or Kessler was going to win the Super Six. They were my initial picks to win the Super Six. Now I knew Andre Dirrell, and I'd seen him, fight as an amateur. I see some of the stuff in the pros. But like the initial thought of Super Six was most likely, like everybody, including myself, figured it was going to be. Most people thought it was going to be Kessler, not Kessler. It was going to be Froch. Arthur Abraham was another guy that was coming in with a great deal of expectations. But I really was never really sold on Arthur Abraham that much. So, not like a lot of people were. Arthur Abraham wasn't the guy that I was sold on. Um, and Andre Ward was, like I said, was a total unknown. Andre Ward came through the Super Six, and he showed us what he was worth. Because the same thing I said about Andre Ward, the same thing I say about Gladdy Golovkin is I want to see you fight someone of equal talent. And I want to see what you can do. When Andre Ward fought and defeated Mikkel Kessler to win the WBA super middleweight title, his first championship, I was like, oh, okay. And I kept watching Andre Ward fight Sakio Bika and the rest of these guys in Super 6. I was like, oh, okay, we got something here. And I watched him beat Froch in the finals of it and win the whole thing. And I'm like, okay, this isn't what I thought. This guy isn't what I thought he was. This guy is for real. So I'm like, okay, you're for real, okay? And you didn't fight soft touches. You went in a Super 6 tournament and you fought the best guys at 168. So I'm like, okay, you're the man now. Okay, I get it. Then he leaves Showtime, comes to HBO, and Chad Dawson, and let's clear this up. Chad Dawson was the one who, as light heavyweight champion, nobody really gave a fuck about Chad Dawson. Chad Dawson was looking for a big name opponent. opponent with a name to make himself a name. Chad Dawson said, "Oh, I can make 168. I can make 168." So there's a lot of these trolls saying, "Oh, Andre Ward made Dawson come to 168." No, he didn't. Chad Dawson chose to go to 168 to fight Andre Ward for Andre Ward's super middleweight championship. Otherwise, Andre Ward would be the WBC light heavyweight champion now. Chad Dawson chose that. And Chad Dawson went down and Chad Dawson got his ass knocked out. As simple as that. Went down there and got beat. Nobody forced Chad Dawson to do that. Chad Dawson chose to go to 168. Him and his management, him and his team chose that. They could have said, "Hey, well, we don't go. Can we do 172? Somewhere in between." But Chad Dawson, no. Chad Dawson wanted to add another title to his resume. Chad Dawson needed wanted to get a big win on himself. So Chad Dawson, plus the fact that Chad Dawson at the time really was considered the guy that was just beating older fighters. He was beating these old guys. He hadn't fought nobody and beat nobody young. And the last good fighter Chad Dawson beat was Tomas Adamek. And I give Dawson all the credit in the world when he beat Tomas Adamek to win his WBC lightweight title. Of course, and Tomas Adamek was a beast at 175. Of course, went on to be a beast at cruiserweight after that, before, of course, petering out toward the end at heavyweight. But when Chad Dawson had beat him, that was a big win, being the only guy to beat Tomas Adamek. That was a big freaking win, because the next guy to beat him was Klitschko. He hadn't lost after that. He didn't lose another fight till he fought Klitschko. So that shows you the quality of the resume of the guys that Andre Ward fought, beat, and go gives him his credit. So so let's stop taking credit away from Andre Ward. Now, here's another thing. Fighters fight, and judges decide the fight. Now, I am one of them guys that there are a million people that watch Hagler Leonard. I'm one of them guys, big Marvin Hagler fan, and maybe my heart is what won't let me allow it. But every time I watch the fight, I score the fight, I still have the fight for 1 point for Marvin. And I still believe that Marvin Hagler won that fight. I don't blame Sugar Ray Leonard, because Sugar Ray Leonard didn't score the fight. Sugar Ray Leonard didn't say, "Oh, I won," and raise his hand and say, "Oh, I won." No, it was people. There was two judges at ringside that felt that Sugar Ray Leonard deserved that decision, and Leonard got the decision. Did I like it? No. Does it tick me off? Yes, but I don't blame the fighter, which is why I'm so disappointed in Sergey Kovalev. 3 judges decided that Andre Ward won the fight. 3. Andre Ward didn't say, "Okay, I'm here in the U.S. I won the fight. Home field, I win." He didn't make him say. He didn't decide the fight. First of all, let's take care of this. Sergey Kovalev comes into that fight as the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO light heavyweight champion. And unless I'm mistaken, the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO all appointed a judge to judge that fight. The organizations appointed the judges. Now, or maybe the commission. The point is, Andre Ward didn't pick the fucking judges. Andre Ward didn't pick the referee. Andre Ward didn't pick the judges. The only thing the decision they made was the fight wasn't going to be in Oakland, and the fight sure as hell wasn't going to be in Russia. So we knew that, so it had to be someplace the hell in Nevada. Okay, boom. So everything was done down the line. Now, the 3 judges that scored the fight felt that Andre Ward won the fight. I myself felt Andre Ward won the fight, but that's a story for another time. You lost that one. Okay, hey, what I expected from Sergey Kovalev was not what I'm getting from Sergey Kovalev. I expected Sergey Kovalev to say, "You know what? I don't agree with the decision. I thought it was a bad decision, but you know what? Let's move the hell on." Instead, what Sergey Kovalev has done is run to Russia and crying like a little bitch, going on every little TV show crying like a little bitch, I've lost respect for Sergey Kovalev because I had a lot of respect for. I expected Andre Ward to win the fight, but I had told anybody that knew me, and I said, look, I think Andre Ward has a higher boxing IQ, and I think Andre Ward will win the fight, but it will be tough because Sergey Kovalev, this guy's a fucking animal. You know, and I don't take this guy, underestimate this guy. This guy's a fucking animal. But I just think Andre Ward has a higher in-ring IQ that's going to guide him through this. You know, that he's not going to be the type of guy. And this is what happened. Andre Ward won that fight, not just on the scorecard, judge's scorecard, but he won that fight mentally. This is why I believe Sergey Kovalev is acting like a little bitch. Kovalev is used to, he hits you, he hurts you, he knocks you down, and all of a sudden you decide, okay, like Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins got hit, dropped, and Bernard said, you know what? I don't want to get knocked out, so I'm just going to do enough to make sure I go 12. And that's always been, that's the thing with Bernard, that when Bernard has been in a fight where he's got dropped and he always can't win the fight, he says, well, we're going to go 12. We're just going to go 12, I'll lose decision. I don't want to be knocked out. And that's what happened. It's what my man Teddy Atlas used to say, silent agreements. They made a silent agreement where Bernard Hopkins said, you know what, I'm going to stay out of your way. You don't hit with no one of them damn right hands like that, and we're going to give you this 12-round decision. I'm going to finish on my feet. You're going to get the decision. It's the biggest win of your career. You know, I take another loss, but what the fuck, I'm a Hall of Famer. I can afford it. And that's how that went. Now, against Andre Ward, Sergey Kovalev expected the same thing that he's been getting from guys like Bernard Hopkins and other fighters he fought. I hit you, I drop you, I hurt you, and we make that silent agreement that, you know what, I don't want to get knocked out. We'll just, go 12, you get the decision, and, we'll go on, life goes on. But he didn't get that. Andre Ward said, oh, okay, you got me, okay, now it's time to fight. See, Andre Ward did what my man Tito Trinidad used to do. Tito Trinidad was, what I loved about Tito Trinidad was Tito Trinidad would fight, you fight Tito Trinidad, and like the fight was Fernando Vargas. Trinidad and Vargas were going back and forth. Tito was winning the fight, but Tito had a habit, even winning the fight with Vargas, he remembered the first, and Tito Trinidad fought Fernando Vargas. He dropped Fernando Vargas twice in the first round. Boom, boom, banged him out. Thought Vargas was done. Vargas made through the round, okay, and then they went back and forth. Trinidad winning the round, but they went back and forth. But Trinidad took his foot off the gas. It's like, okay, I got this one. And then, bang, Vargas hit Trinidad, dropped Trinidad. And it's like a light went off for Trinidad. Said, oh, shit, oh, you want to fight now? Oh, okay, and Felix Trinidad got up and beat the shit out of Fernando Vargas. Want to stop him, but Trinidad got up and, Andre Ward did the same thing here. Kovalev was a guy that he's used to hitting you, hurting you, dropping you, and you make that silent agreement to just let me go 12. And you get the decision, I'm going to go 12, and we'll go our separate ways. But Andre Ward wouldn't make that. Andre Ward's like, oh, you want to fight now? Okay. And Andre Ward and his team knew Sergey Kovalev doesn't like to fight on the inside. He does not like to fight on the inside. He doesn't like to get hit to the body. They had studied Sergey Kovalev. They knew different things. They watched the Chilumba fight. Watched how Chilumba had kept Kovalev until Chilumba decided to quit fighting. Chilumba had kept Kovalev off balance. And that Sergey Kovalev is also the type of fighter that he has so much power, but he has to be set. That you can disrupt his rhythm. And when you disrupt his rhythm, he just doesn't have a natural flow. He has to get set again. And he has to get set to punch. And once, that was exposed. And Andre Ward knew these things. Plus the fact that Andre Ward knew Kovalev didn't, he didn't like it on the inside. And Kovalev was not the type of guy that he didn't, like it hitting the body too much. And Andre Ward made him a rough fight, which everybody I thought was going to happen. Andre Ward has that thing where Andre Ward, as much as good boxer as he has, Andre Ward likes to fight inside. He likes to get in close. He likes to bang your body. He likes to rough you up, make it a rough fight, a rough physical fight. Because, that's what he likes to do. He doesn't have to, but that's what he likes to do. Sergey Kovalev never fought nobody like that. He fought Chilumba because he felt, oh, this guy's will give me movement. Excuse me, this guy's a mover and he's a little slick. He's a little slick defensively and a little slick offensively, and he'll prepare me for Andre Ward. Well, no, all Chilumba did was expose you, expose more of your flaws to Andre Ward. All the flaws that Andre Ward's team thought you had, all Chilumba did was show them that, yep, I was right. Okay, I knew that. And Virgil Hunter got to put the game plan together. This is a guy that people seem to forget hasn't lost a fight since he was 12 years old. This is a guy that went to the Olympics. This is a guy that lost his parents. Andre Ward been through some stuff in his life. And I'm not saying Sergey Kovalev hasn't, but the point of the matter is, Andre Ward is hungry. He's not at the point where like Bernard Hopkins is. Bernard Hopkins got dropped by Kovalev. But Bernard's like, I got plenty of money in the bank. I can afford this L. Because I can bounce back from this L. And I'll take this L, and it's a loss to a young lion because I don't won. Remember, coming in that fight, Bernard Hopkins came in with 2 of the 3 belts that Kovalev won. Bernard Hopkins came in with the WBA and the IBF titles. And Bernard, Bernard was supposed to be done when he won those. But, at his old advanced age, he beat those 2 guys, won those belts, of course, and dropped those belts to Kovalev. Okay, so, Bernard was at the point where, I solidified my claim on, for a Hall of Fame. If I could beat Kovalev and pick up that WBO belt, great. But if not, well, I already punched my ticket. I'm going to make enough money off of this. My kids are going to eat well. My family's going to doing well. I don't have to fight, but I do it because, I just want to get all that itch out of me. So, at the same token, Bernard was like, I'm not going to take no punishment. If we get to the point where it's taking punishment, no, we ain't taking no punishment. So, that was that deal there. With Andre Ward is, I'm still hungry. I got 5 kids at home. I got a wife and 5 kids at home. Shit, I'm not losing to this guy. I'm not losing nobody. I don't know how to lose. I haven't lost since I was 12 years old. I forgot what it's like to lose. And that's what people seem to forget. When you've been undefeated, Andre Ward is 30, 31, 32 years old. He hasn't lost since he was 12. You understand what I'm saying? Since he was 12. So he don't forgot what it's like to lose. He don't know what it's like to lose in the ring. Sergey Kovalev had lost the fights before Andre Ward did in the amateurs. So the memory for losing was fresher to Kovalev than it was to Andre Ward. Andre Ward went in there and he didn't make the silent agreements that Kovalev is used to having made, and Andre Ward fought him. And those judges saw that he fought him. And those judges saw what Kovalev was doing. And you know what the judges said? You know what? I like what Ward's doing. All 3 of them judges agreed. They gave the damn fight to Andre Ward. Now, Sergey Kovalev is upset. I understand you're undefeated. Whatever. You lost. You thought it was a close fight. You thought you won. And it was a close fight. I wouldn't have bitched about it going either way. I thought Ward won it close. But I wouldn't have cried if Kovalev left because I had that much respect for both men. I wouldn't have sat there crying about it. But I expected, doing the character I thought both these men had, that regardless of who won or who lost, that they would be men about it, accept the loss. They wouldn't go on TV crying. I didn't expect what I got from Sergey Kovalev. That's what I'm very upset about because I expected more from Sergey Kovalev than I got. I expected Sergey Kovalev to say, yeah, I thought I won the fight. I didn't get it, but I didn't think they'd go, oh, son of judges and all this other bullshit and blaming John David Jackson. Look, here's the bottom line. Why don't, outside of Ronda Rousey, whose coach is totally giving her bad ideals, who's that clown Edmund, whoever the fuck he is, who's trying to teach her to strike, and please. John David Jackson's done a damn good job with Sergey Kovalev. The thing is that Sergey Kovalev, and he said it himself, he kind of told it himself when he said, I don't listen to an American trainer, I do what I want. Now, okay, you don't listen to an American trainer, you do what you want. Why you got an American trainer? Don't act like there was no Russian trainers that you could have got. Don't act like there was you needed that American trainer kind of learn how to fight professionally because you know why? Americans fight professionally differently, fight differently. And Russian fighters are not used to fighting the professional style. They're getting used to it. They're just getting used to it because you motherfuckers were oppressed for so long that y'all could only fight the amateur style. That's why you got an American trainer, because you wanted to learn how to come over here and how to fight how to fight, really fight. Because this ain't the amateurs where you just peck, and you got 5 judges and they're all from Russia and they're all paid off to vote for you. This is the United States where, this the pro boxing. We don't, that's not happening a lot over here. So, you had to learn to fight this way, otherwise you wouldn't have been undefeated that long. I mean, think about it. As good, and I think Sergey Kovalev is a damn good fighter. But your mindset, I believe, is why even Abel Sanchez sent you away and kept Golovkin. Because somewhere in your head, Sergey Kovalev has this thing in his head where he's that cold era, old school Russian things. I'm better than American. No American can tell me nothing but on America. But yet, I want that American dollar. Yay. Whatever. You got that mentality. And, now you're blaming John David Jackson, a former world champion, for your loss. Saying he didn't have, and here you're telling people in Russia, oh, I don't listen to him anyways. Oh, you don't listen to him anyways. So how are you going to blame him for your loss? If you don't listen to him anyways, he was probably telling you the right thing to do, and your ass don't listen to him, and you didn't do the right thing. You did what the fuck you're used to doing. See, that's the problem with you. You got so used to doing the same shit day after day, fight after fight, that you figured that I'm going to hit him, because they nicknamed you the Crusher, that you figured I'm going to hit him, I'm going to crush him, and he's going to lay down. And Andre Ward's like, no, I'm not laying down. No, we're going to fight. And then you got into a fight, you're like, hold on, this isn't what's supposed to happen here. And, oh shit, this doesn't go the way it's supposed to go. No, it didn't go, because you just figured I'm going to hit him, drop him, hurt him, and Andre Ward's going to just try to survive. But Andre Ward said, no, I'm not going to win. I'm here to just survive. I'm here to win. And you, Mr. Kovalev, underestimated Andre Ward's will to win. You overestimated yourself, and you underestimated Andre Ward. And that's your mistake. And the fact that you like I said, Andre Ward has a higher boxing IQ than you do. It came to bear, and it was shown in that fight. So, like I said, I'm disappointed in Sergey Kovalev as a person. As a fighter, I wouldn't be shocked if Kovalev, they fight again and Kovalev won the fight. I said I wouldn't be shocked. Do I expect it to happen? Not really. I expect Andre Ward to have an easier time to rematch than he did the first time. That's just my opinion, but it is what it is. That is one of the things I wanted, I'll get off my checks. I was hearing a lot of things. I really wanted to throw my 2 cents in on that one there, because I understand fighting. When you fight, and with every fighting is a different beast, and when you fight and you lose a fight, especially a close fight, each fight takes a lot out of you. You never get it back. Whether it's a hard fight or an easy fight, you lose a part of yourself. You lose a part of your soul. Each and every time you step into that ring, you leave a part of you in there. That's why I get so pissed off when you hear Teddy Atlas. Know people get pissed off when you get bad decisions, because they know that. Well, you hear fighters more so because they know what the cost is. They know that, every time you step in there, from training camp to the fight, you lose a part of yourself, you lose a part of your soul. And you go in there, you give it your all. And that's why a lot of us, we get pissed off about bad decisions. We get pissed off about STS, which is why I'm so disappointed. I'm going to leave it to my next topic, Mr. Dewey Cheatham and Hal Pavechkin. This is why we get upset about this crap, because we know how hard it is for fighters. We know what they go through. We know what they leave, what they give up to get in there. So we do hold fighters to a higher standard. Fighters are held to a higher standard. You are. And whether you like it or not, fighters are held. That's why they coined fighter lifestyle, because the fighters are held to a higher standard. I was thirsty there. Now let's get to Mr. Povetkin. Alexander Povetkin is a guy that I'd seen him fight a couple times, but I never thought he was as good as everybody said he was. But I always thought there was something sketchy about Povetkin when he had an agreement with Teddy Atlas. Teddy Atlas led him to that WBA regular title. Then all of a sudden, the agreement they had with Teddy Atlas, they went back on. He was supposed to come here to the U.S. and train. Then all of a sudden, they went back on that deal, and they got some Russian trainer, and they decided they're going to stay over in Russia, and train. But they used Teddy Atlas to teach this kid enough to get that belt. And now they went out there and they held every fight they had after Teddy Atlas left him. He damn near lost him. What the hell? There was a cruiserweight. Marco Huck nearly beat him. There was a couple other fights he had before that he nearly got beat. And they were hurting. They just wanted to get him through that to get him to that Klitschko fight. Got him to the Klitschko fight, and Klitschko hit him, hurt him, and Povetkin against me that solid agreement to let's let me go 12. And he just stayed out of Klitschko's way, and Klitschko popped with a jab, occasional right hand, and Povetkin lost a 12-round decision to Klitschko, and, in a way, he never came back in the way we went. And, went on, so whatever, started doing whatever the hell he was doing, juicing or whatever the hell he was doing. But I thought there was something funny back then with him. Excuse me. I never thought he was that good to begin with. I thought Teddy Atlas took what he was and made him better. And then, okay, we fast forward a little bit. And I don't think he fought anybody of merit, but the WBC, the WBA, the IBF, the WBO, they're all a bunch of corrupt bullshit organizations. That I wish to God we had a global commission and would just get rid of them son of bitches. And, one world champion. We have one world, have one champion. Get rid of these goddamn, go back to when commissions, when the state athletic commissions had more say, and, we weren't having fighters getting robbed with these damn sanctioning fees. Which is why we don't see unification fights often, because, what the fuck, if you win the belt, hey, not only do I have to pay one sanction fee, now I gotta pay two. So fuck that. That's why fighters, when we ask the question, why aren't fighters trying to unify? That's why, because don't nobody want to pay no sanction fee. Think about it, you have 4 championships, each one of them organizations want a sanction fee. I think it's like 10%. So that's 40% of your personal money coming out of your pocket to give these motherfuckers. And that's why a lot of fighters now, they don't want to unify. That's what the fuck I want to unify for. Why do you think Gennady Golovkin, when he fights, he wants that 75, he makes sure that 75-25 split. Why? Because he's got 3 of them belts, and he knows they got, 30% got to go to those damn 3 organizations. Unless it's a case where, like, with the when he fought Kell Brooks, WBA said, now we're not sanctioning that fight. So, okay, so you have to pay them. But the IBO, oh, good God. And the IBO, the IBF, and the WBC got a sanctioning fee. So, shit, you still have to pay 3. That's why Golovkin is trying to make as much money as he can when he fights, because he got paid them damn sanctioning fees and still trying to make a living. But that aside, Povetkin then became the number 1 contender for the WBC. He was going to fight, he was supposed to fight Deontay Wilder. They had to fight. His people won the purse bid. They wanted to fight in Russia. I wonder why. And they go to Deontay Wilder and his team. They went, they're over there getting ready for the fight. They get over to Russia to find out that, Povetkin popped positive for a drug that they had banned in January. It had gone into effect in January. Now, he passed 3 other tests. Up to that point, that drug was not in the system. And all of a sudden, his final test, right before the fight, this drug got in there. Now, so if you pass in 3 other tests, how's it get into that fourth test? Where the hell is it? And there's minute traces. Here's what I'm thinking. Either you were using it all along and just somebody fucked up whatever blocking agency you was using. They must have, they had a new test that came out. VADA came out, a new test that happened to beat that blocking agency and caught your ass. So they said, because we just banned it in January and he'd been taking it all along, and that was their excuse. We were using it all along. We didn't know until it was banned. Well, if you've been using it all along, you should have popped for that from your very first drug test. But you didn't. You popped clean for 3 tests, and then on that 4th test you popped dirty. But you were using this all along, and it just got banned. Yeah, all right. And I think the wretched WBC was part of that cover up there. And I think the WBC helped try to help Povetkin cover that shit up, try to help that Russian promoter and them cover that shit up, save face. Okay, we're going to do this, and that. And Wilder went back, came back home, wound up fighting Chris Arreola. Broke his, broke his hand, ripped his tendon in his arm, whatever. Got himself hurt, knocking out Chris Arreola. And now he's on the shelf. So the WBC said, oh, we need an interim champion. Why? Because, Wilder's on the shelf. We can't charge those sanction fees for the heavyweight title. So we need to make that money. So we're going to have us interim champion. Yeah, that's the ticket. We're going to have an interim champion. And then as soon as Wilder comes back, that interim champion and Wilder going to fight. Okay. And once again, the people that represent Povetkin, got Bermane Stiverne and Don King, who's no longer Don King's more of a part-time promoter now. In my opinion, he's a great promoter in the history of boxing. But right now, Don King's a part-timer. He's cashed it out. He has a handful of fighters, but he ain't really going at it like he used to. So they get to fight. They outbid him. They get to fight. He goes to Russia. All right, fine. Bermane Stiverne goes over there. He popped because he was drinking a 5-hour energy right in front of the freaking people. And that's what he popped for, was something in the 5-hour energy that is illegal in boxing. So, okay, that wasn't a big deal because they seen him drink the 5-hour energy, so they knew where his shit came from. But Povetkin turned around and popped for another substance that was banned a long time ago. That was similar to the one he got popped for the last, which is a substance that helps you recuperate would help you recuperate quicker. Gets the blood going back to your oxygen, helps you recuperate quicker, and helps you, stamina, whatever. Helps you, helps you lessen your fatigue. It's the same shit he got popped for, just the older version of this shit. And this shit he got popped for this time was banned long before the shit he got popped for the first time. They're the same fucking thing. Only one was banned earlier, and the other one's a follow-up to the first one. So now here we go. Once again, in the same year, this motherfucker popped up twice for pretty much the same substance, a stamina booster, an endurance booster to help him, get that win back between rounds, to help him with his stamina. Okay, it's a tough fight. Okay, once again, you popped twice. Now, once again, the WBC and these motherfuckers making excuses. Look, here, this tier is what should have been done if the WBC was 100% up on this. First of all, I think the WBC, they're joining with VADA. It's just a show. It's just something similar to UFC when oh my God, we got these people tested positive for these banned substances. We better do something about it. Yada, yada. We're only doing something because we have to. And I think the WBC is no better. We want to look like we're the best organization. We're going to join with VADA. First of all, if you really, but VADA can't dish out any punishments. We have to dish out the punishment. And we get some bullshit punishment. No, first of all, what should have happened to Povetkin is, we're not going to suspend you because we're not going to say you took your career away. You can fight, but for 2 years, you can't be ranked. You won't be ranked for 2 years. So you got to fight for 2 years without being ranked, and then once you've been, and you got to be clean for that 2 years. You got to be clean for that 2 years, fight for 2 years, clean, still getting tested. Matter of fact, getting tested more so now than before. And you got to go that 2 years being clean, and then we'll rank you as then after 2 years is up, after that is up, you will rank you at number 15. And you can fight your way back into the top 10 and earn yourself a title shot. That's what should have been done. But, they didn't do that. They gave him some little bullshit as an excuse. They probably just moved his ass down to number 5. And someone on the water, I don't know how much the people that are Povetkin and Wood are they're trying to buy that WBC heavyweight title, which is what they're trying to do. And Povetkin and his camp keep getting caught with this shit, and they keep fucking it up. And honestly, Povetkin, though, he's 34, 35. He don't got that much time left. So, he got to get his shit together. What I want to see now is, does the IBF, the WBO, or the WBA, you rank this cat, and do they give him a shot? That's what I want to see. What these other 3 governing bodies do with Povetkin. That I would like to see what happens with that. And I would like to, and also I'm hoping this year we get more and more stiffer penalties for fighters coming in with, that failed drug testing in both boxing and mixed martial arts. Because look, this is combat sports. You got people die in this shit. Excuse me, people die in this shit. You watch you don't believe me. Boxing is known. Boxing, their deaths are known. But if you think only it's just boxing, it won't happen in MMA. You're full of it because you look at the Amanda Nunes Ronda Rousey fight. You just imagine, for instance, just imagine if Amanda Nunes was all choked up on HGH and all this other bullshit, and she's up there pounding a clean Ronda Rousey. Ronda, even though those shots, as hard as they were, and she was clean, imagine how much harder they would have been if she was dirty. And maybe one of those shots could have hit Rousey, killed her, put her in a coma, right there on pay-per-view in the middle. People, oh my God. And it's not like be on Southport, we say, oh my God, you killed Kenny, you bastard. You'd have killed Ronda Rousey, and then to find out you popped dirty, you on all this shit. Then combat sports as a whole would have had a black eye, because let's realize that those of us that are fans of combat sports love it for its purity. There are those people that hate combat sports say, oh, it's so barbaric. They it's barbaric. And all across the board, I want to see combat sports better regulated, and especially when it comes to these drugs, we have to keep this sport clean, because this is a sport here where somebody can get killed. Seriously. Somebody can get killed. When you're hitting another man or kicking another man, and you got shit in your system that makes you stronger, hit harder, whatever, that's just no. We gotta keep this shit on an even playing field. We have to, because one fighter, the last time we had a major death in boxing on TV was when Dooku Kim got killed against Ray Boom Boom Mancini, and we went from 15-round title fights to 12, and they screamed about justice, even though what it was personally was, if we take that extra 9 minutes off, now we can get, instead of having just one fight, we can have 2 fights in less time. I think it was a lot of more business in that than it was actually the safety of the fighters, because promoters never gave a fuck about the safety of the fighters. For a long time, it was hard to get boxing back on network TV, because the last image they had was of Ray Mancini killing some guy who came to America to fight and got killed, in the 14th round. They didn't tell the fact that this guy weighed 160 pounds and had to drain himself all the way down to 135 pounds, and that during the course of the fight, we didn't know about the technology we do now, that of all the water weight and everything that left that made his brain more susceptible to get to brain injuries. We didn't know that then. And that's another thing we need to work on in both sports is weight cutting. There has to be a limit. If you're a fighter, that there has to be a limit in boxing and in MMA where you have to be within a certain amount of weight to fight in a certain weight class. Because we've seen it with Chris Cyborg. We've seen it with other fighters where it's more in MMA. We've seen it once in boxing too with Mikey Garcia, where fighters are damn near killing themselves to make weight. Mikey Garcia was so drawn, when he tried to make weight for a fight at 130, he just said, man, I can't do it. We've seen fighters that are just, because that they walk around too heavy for their weight classes. And then they make that weight cut, it's just like it's not safe. We have to, fighters, need to live a fighter's lifestyle and keep themselves in shape. One thing, Bernard Hopkins never got too heavy. Bernard Hopkins always stayed within his good fighting weight. So when he came into camp, he didn't go into camp to lose weight. He came into camp to get in fight shape. He kept himself in shape, but he came into camp to get in fight shape. Floyd Mayweather keeps himself in shape, but he goes to training camp to get himself in fight shape. And Floyd doesn't balloon up. Like if Floyd wanted to come back tomorrow, which I hope he never does, Floyd probably walks around at 152 pounds. So going from 152 to 147 is not a stretch for Floyd. That's not a big split. He's like, oh, fuck. He can make that easily. Because he keeps himself, one, in shape, and two, it's not that far from where he fights. He fights at 147, so shit, going from 152 to 147, that's not a big of a stretch. Now, you got a guy like Canelo Alvarez who balloons up to 185 pounds between fights, and he's sweating away to get down to 155, 154. Yeah, you can do that shit now while you're young, but the reason I think they're starting to come up with Canelo is because Canelo's not 22 anymore. Canelo's 26 years old. And making that weight cut is starting to kick Canelo in the ass. And he knows it. So they're like, we got to make this move to 160. Because they know that weight cut is fucking with him. As you get older, it gets harder to drop that weight. So, but younger fighters have to be taught early on. We can't have these kids walking around real heavy and fighting these low weight classes. And a lot of times they do it for the money. Because maybe they're in a division where there's a whole lot of money. There's all these big money fights. And then you're killing yourself to make this weight for these big money fights. And then you get seriously hurt. And then who do we blame? We don't blame the commission. We don't blame the people that should be blamed. Then there's a big investigation. There's a black guy on the sport. I would like to see more in the ways of people. When I see the WBC has started in that regards of having fighters weigh in at the contract signing and keep a check of their weight as they go through camp. So if they're at a certain weight, target weight, coming into the fight at a healthier clip. And I like to see that done more, not just, I like WBC doing that, but I like to see it done more across the board, not just in boxing, but in MMA too. The thing with MMA is, it was done, the thing with the UFC and Chris Cyborg is it was done on purpose. They know Chris Cyborg can't make 135. They know that woman walks around 175 pounds, so her cutting 30 pounds to make the 145 and stuff, they're going to make a deal losing an additional 5 pounds. And that shit is draining. They know that shit's fucking that woman up. But they want to get rid of Chris Cyborg. They want to get rid of Chris Cyborg. So now she's been suspended again for a diuretic. Well, yeah, she took a diuretic. She had to gain 140 pounds. So she took a diuretic, which I don't think taking a diuretic should really be that big of a deal because you're taking something to help you lose weight. And I don't think that should be that big of a deal. If it's not a performance enhancer, we have to start judging, this sport and these substances that we take from what is performance enhancing to what is just going to help somebody cut a few pounds. The thing with Cyborg, okay, the first time she got busted for steroid, this time for a diuretic. Man, look, if that diuretic's not going to help her perform, fuck that. Stop outlawing all this shit in these diuretics, man, because it's not the woman's fault. Look, the UFC says, look, when you want to fight here, this is what we're going to make you do. Then after the woman popped positive for that, and now health people with health concerns start jumping on your ass, and you see more pro now the UFC says, oh, we have a 145-pound division. Oops, we're sorry. And knowing that Chris Cyborg is so fucked up after the last time you made her cut to 140, that you said, oh, we offered her a fight at a 145. The woman was in no shape. She could barely fucking walk. She was in no shape to fight because of the weight drain that she had to go through to get into the shape for that fight. And you're putting people's health you're putting people's lives at risk with that bullshit. That's what I don't like what the UFC did with Chris Cyborg, because they knew better than that. If you didn't want the woman in the UFC, just say we don't want you in here. Leave her to fucking Invicta, where she's appreciated. But you want that money she's going to bring you. So you can't have it both ways. Your pet project, Ronda Rousey, was found out. So you want the next, you want the next best woman in the sport. And the funny thing about it is, you're so stupid. You could have had her all along. Let her ride out her suspension for steroids. Let that shit go. And then as soon as they start that 145-pound division, stop talking about there was not enough women to merit that. Bullshit, there was enough women to wear it. You said that shit. They said that shit about the bantamweight division and found there was all these girls out there. They said the same shit about the strawweight division, found all these damn girls out there to fill the division. You could have done 145 a while ago. You didn't want to. And then now that you had to, because, oh my God, the appeal of Ronda Rousey was starting to draw. People were starting to say, well, we need to fight her so you should fight somebody real. And you started having girls like Amanda Nunes and Holly Holmes coming up. You realized Ronda's skill set was limited, that eventually she was going to get knocked off. Then you said, we better get somebody else in here. A fallback plan. And that's when you got, then you decided to still go fuck with Chris Cyborg after saying all this nasty shit about her. But let's get back on target of boxing. 2017, I'm hoping will be a good year. Now, so far the year's starting out strong, but like there's a lot of these fights that are promised us, I don't take it for. I don't believe him. I don't believe a fight is happening until the guys get into the ring. Until they get the fuck in the ring and a fight happens, then it's happening. Because I've seen fights in my lifetime. A fight gets scheduled and it goes all the way up to maybe a couple weeks before the fight, and then all of a sudden somebody gets hurt, they pull out, and the fight is never had. Or you promise a big fight card, whatever, somebody get hurt and they never, whatever reason, the fight never happens. So, I've been a boxing fan long enough to have seen this, so I'm at the point where now, when I hear about a good fight, I'm like, ooh, that's a good fight I'd like to see, but I'm waiting until they get to I don't believe the fight happens until these guys climb in the ring. Honestly, I don't even care what contract is signed. I don't want to wait till you get them in the ring. Then, or the weigh-in. If a pay-per-view fight, the weigh-in. So we know, okay, the shit's happening. There's a lot of good fights this year on tap. You got the James DeGale BioJack fight. I like James DeGale in that fight. You got the Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia fight, which I'm right now, I'm going to say it right now, here January 6th. Excuse me, 2017. I'm saying myself, listen carefully, I like Keith Thurman to win this fight, but I would not be surprised if I once again underestimate Danny Garcia, and Danny Garcia surprised me and won this fight. So, but if you ask me to pick a guy, I'm going to pick Thurman, because I just think I like Keith Thurman, but like I said, I bet against Danny Garcia before when Lucas Matisse fight, and when he fought Matisse in the undercard of Mayweather Canelo, and he beat Matisse. I didn't think he was going to beat Matisse. So I like Keith Thurman, but I'm not going to sleep on. But if Danny Garcia wins, I'm not going to be sitting there going, but I'm not going to sit here if Danny Garcia wouldn't say, well, I told you he was going to win. No, because I'm telling you now, my pick is with Keith Thurman, but I'm also saying I would not be shocked if Danny won, because once again, sometimes there might be something that I'm missing with Danny Garcia, like I was with the Matisse fight, but I don't think I'm going to be wrong this time. I really think Keith Thurman is the guy that could, beat him. The IBF, Dante's Box Nation had an interview with the IBF. I want to see if they keep to their word. And of course, Eddie Hearns and them. Hopefully this year, Earl Spence Jr. becomes a champion, or at least gets a chance to fight for a championship. Long overdue. Should happen. Manny Pacquiao's going to find a way to not to fight Terrence Crawford. Just fights, just not. I mean, his management, his trainers have all said they don't want that fight. And him asking for $20 million for that fight is pretty much letting everybody know we don't want that fight. Yeah, we don't want that fight. At this point in my life, I don't need Terrence Crawford in my life right now. The big fight, the heavyweight championship, Anthony Joshua and Klitschko. I like Joshua in that one. In my opinion, as of this moment, I think Anthony Joshua is the best of the heavyweights right now. Until proven otherwise, I think he's the most complete of these guys. Maybe, hopefully, we'll get. They're talking about Parker and Wilder. Maybe we'll get that fight. And since Parker says now Wilder has no mandatory, so maybe we'll get that fight. I don't know. Golovkin is going to fight Danny Jacobs. I'm happy for that fight. Wow, that's a fight I'm torn on. I mean, I'm torn on that fight. I really, as I get closer, it's hard for me to make it's hard for me to make an opinion. It's hard for me to make a prediction on that fight. Because there are days I wake up, I like Danny Jacobs, and then I go back and review some tape, and I see some shit that says, oh, I like Golovkin, and I look at some other tape, and I see some shit, ooh, I like Pete, I like Jacobs, ooh. So I go back and forth. So I'm at the point where I'm just going to say, you know what, may the best man win. And it is a win for both men, because one, if Jacobs wins, then he's made his full battle back from cancer and shown that maybe the loss, maybe the loss to Purov, cancer has something to do with that loss. If Golovkin wins, it's the case of, okay, now we can't say that he hasn't fought any of the best guys at 160 that he is, that he's fought, the best guys. But where do you go from there? And the question, you know, and I posed it in my last video, so where does he go from there? And after that, I realized, I said, hold on. Even if he cleans out middleweight, okay, since Peter Quillins is going up to since Peter Quillins and Eubanks Jr. going to 168, all that's at 160 is Jacobs. But I forgot that right below him is a guy named Jermell Charlo. There's a guy named Alessandro Lord. There's a guy named Demetrius Andrade. So if he doesn't want to go up to 168, there are 3 guys 4 pounds below him that, come on up, boys. The water's fine here. There are big fights for Golovkin at 160. They're right down. They're right down at 154. There are fights for him, and those 3 guys would further. Honestly, I think this way. I could be wrong, but this is what I think. I think if Golovkin goes out there, beats Danny Jacobs, then fights that murderer's row down at 154, including. And even not just Canelo, but I'm saying, let's say Jacob. Let's just say, okay, Gennady Golovkin. He goes out and he beats Danny Jacobs. Then at the end of the year, he fights and beats Canelo, who hopefully maybe Billy Joe Sanders fights Canelo. Canelo beats Billy Joe Sanders, whatever. And let's just say he's the undisputed middleweight champion. And you go out there and how do you tap that off? Or just, I don't want to go up to 168 just yet. Well, guess what? You got Charlo. Probably both Charlo brothers are coming up. Maybe one first, but Jermell first. Then you maybe Jamal comes up. You got Demetrius Andrade, and you got Laura. You got 4 fights there that'll win over any of those 4 guys, or all 4 of them guys. That automatically puts you there. Plus, hold on a minute. Plus, there's a big boy at 147 named Keith Thurman, who I believe could probably make the jump to 160 and not really be affected. Keith Thurman's a big boy. I think Keith Thurman probably walks around about 170. So, I think Keith Thurman coming up there, there's an even bigger fight from a big punching welterweight coming up there. That could be a Hagler Hearns of this era. Thurman and Golovkin. That could be your thing, because maybe Thurman cleans out 147. Maybe Thurman is the best of these 147. Thurman beats Garcia. He winds up, beating Spence. He gets a fight with Manny Pacquiao. Manny says, yeah, that's big money. I will take that. He beats Manny. He beats Crawford. He's looking at, well, what's next? And then right there, Golovkin cleans out 154. Thurman's like, well, shit, no sense going to 154 because those guys have all been cleaned out. And then Golovkin's like, right here, big boy. And Thurman's like, you know what? We can do this. That could be a big fight. Because I don't think it's going to be that big of a stretch for Keith Thurman to go right to 160. I think he'll probably be a better prepared 160-pounder and give a better fight than Kell Brooks did. There are fights with Golovkin to have to, to really put that stamp on his legacy, and really, to really squash a lot of these questions we have about Golovkin. And they are makeable fights. They are makeable fights, but it's going to be about him and his people being willing to not be so selfish and saying, hey, we want this fight, and let's go make this, because I want to test myself, against the best. And hopefully we'll have that, hopefully we'll have a lot of those fights that boxing needs. I know I've been on here now, as of late, I've been very anti HBO, and I have my reasons, but I really don't want to see HBO go away. What I'd like to see HBO do is get its head out of its ass and get its program back in order, and rein in Lampley and Kellerman. Stop being so fucking biased, and also stop putting all these fights on pay-per-view. Go back to World Championship Boxing. Go back to Boxing After Dark. Go back to having good fights, and then when these fights build up, now we go to pay-per-view. Instead of going to the pay-per-view with Andre Ward, Sergio Coble, that was an HBO. That's a World Championship Boxing fight. You get 160,000 pay-per-view. You throw Crawford Postol on pay-per-view, it gets 40, 50,000 pay-per-view buys. These are not pay-per-view worthy fights. You know what's a pay-per-view worthy fight? Golovkin, Canelo. If Golovkin cleans out 160 and Thurman cleans out 147, there's nobody at one between. Golovkin, Thurman, pay-per-view fight when it happens, if it happens. Those are pay-per-view fights. Golovkin, um, I think no, I don't even think Golovkin Ward's a pay-per-view fight at this point in time, unless Andre Ward. Well, if Andre Ward cleans out 175, let's say rematch of Kovalev, he beats Kovalev, he gets a fight with Donstein, beats Donstein, and beats all the top guys. Then Golovkin then does it. Then yeah, I think then okay, maybe we got to make it a pay-per-view fight there. The people say, ooh, I wonder what'll happen if Golovkin fights Ward. Just like I think if Keith Thurman cleans at 147, we say, ooh, can Keith Thurman go up to middleweight and, knock off Golovkin? Because if Golovkin kills off everything at 154, Thurman kills everything at 147, well, what's sense of going to 154, because there's nobody there. They've all left up to fight Golovkin. They're all worth it. And Thurman's like, man, this is a waste of my time. But again, Golovkin's standing there like, hey, got something for you. And Keith Thurman's like, you know what? See you there. That's a pay-per-view fight because the fans will be like, oh, yeah. Because a lot of fans are going to start comparing Thurman. If he turns it on, they're going to start comparing Thurman to Tommy Hearns, which is what they're trying to do with the nickname one time. But as I noticed, as Keith Thurman stepped up in competition, those one times aren't coming as frequent as they used to. Because as you fight a better caliber fighter, these guys have better defenses. And even though you hit hard, these guys know how to, defend those things a little better. But that being said, there's some good fights that can happen. And I love the PBC. I hope it's successful. Anything that's good with boxing, I want to see boxing successful. I want to see eventually, I'm hoping that this year, in 2017, I'm hoping we'll see a healthy Chris Cyborg versus Holly Holmes. I think that'd be a hell of a fight. I want to see what happens with Miss Pena now. Now that Ronda Rousey's gone, I want to see what happens with the new bantamweight champion. Where does she go from here? Does she go through what's left? Does she go through Kat Zingano, who beat her the first time? And there's a rematch there with Bill, and Kat Zingano came out talking smack. Do they have that rematch comes up? There's the young lady from the Russian girl that just beat Holly Holmes. Her last fight. There's also, how long does Joni Jędrzejczyk stay at fly before Joni says, you know what, cleaned out flyweight, it's time for me to make a move up to bantamweight. Is Pena the champion when Jędrzejczyk gets there? There's a lot of good fights in UFC that can happen if they let them happen. This could be a good year to see some good fights. It can be, and I want to see boxing survive, but I want to see combat sports as a whole survive. Because I love combat sports. That's what I love, combat sports. Boxing is my passion. I love all combat sports. Boxing is my passion. And of all sports, boxing just holds a part of my heart that I just love it. And it's just nothing else like it. And, I would rather watch a good fight than anything else on TV. I'm a guy to watch boxing 24/7, if I could, and watch anybody and everybody fight. I just love this. I love the science. I love watching, breaking it down with his two club fighters and saying what, thinking, oh, I train this, what I do, It's just my passion, and I love it so. And I love UFC because it's combat sports, and of course, I love my Dallas Cowboys. Go Cowboys, week off. First, we have divisional bye. I don't want to face the damn Giants. I swear to God, whoever's playing the Giants this weekend, you are my favorite team. Take care of Eli and them damn Giants. But unfortunately, the sad part about Eli and the Giants is them bastards seem to be good on the road in the playoffs. Eli seems, I don't know what it is about this cat, but on the road in the playoffs, this guy is unconscious. If you want to beat Eli and the Giants, you can beat their ass at home in the Meadowlands, but they get on the road in the playoffs. Eli just seems to go to Eli. It's funny how Eli becomes Peyton and Peyton becomes Eli. Eli turns into Peyton in its regular season, and Peyton, always had Eli's regular season in the playoffs. Eli's a better playoff quarterback. I always said that if the Giants could have had both, want to have Peyton play the regular season and bring Eli in for the postseason, the Giants would have a shitload of championships right about now, or whichever team had them. But the Giants scare the fuck out of me going into these playoffs. They really do. And if they get knocked off, I will be so happy because I will have more faith then, thinking my Cowboys could do something, But as long as Eli Manning and those damn Giants are there and they on the road, man, I'm just not feeling too happy. I just don't want to see them come back because I have a feeling that the last time the Bats was on the road, they came to Big D. You know, we went 14-2, and motherfuckers came up in Texas State, well, Jerry World, and y'all know what happened then. Tony Romo, we had to go off to a hot start. Was getting ready, you know, could have went up. We were up 17-7, and Tony, you know, threw that ball, and the boy heard those footsteps, and Giants picked it off and took it to the house, and it was 17-14, and then after the second half, you know, Romo, the second half, Eli and his crew just took it, and they just went on, and, you know, the only justice I would hope to see if we do face the Giants, lose the Giants, only justice for me would be that, Lord, let the Patriots get there and let Eli play them bastards for a third time. Let them Patriots fans have to deal with the same dread that I, as a Cowboy fan, deal with. We're having to deal with Eli fucking Manning. You know, that's some shit I want to see Patriots fans go, oh, Lord, no, not anybody but him. So I think not only me as a Cowboy fan not wanting to face Eli and the Giants in the playoffs, I think there's a whole bunch of people in New England that feel the same damn way I do, say, we'll breathe a sigh of relief once the damn Giants are knocked out. So I don't know who's playing the Giants this week, but whoever you are, we are right now, those who are the Patriot fans, Cowboy fans, we are your biggest fucking fan this week. Please knock off the Giants. And with that, I'm Doug Wilkerson. I'll talk to you next week. Hopefully the Giants will be knocked out of the playoffs, and both the Patriots and Cowboys can sleep easier at night. Because I'm telling you, Bill Belichick, if there's one team Bill Belichick worried about, it's those damn Giants. He knows it. He might not out what he said, but when you're 0-2 against a team, you don't want to see them too much, especially when you lost them in the Super Bowl. And as a Cowboy fan, I don't want to see the damn Giants. We lost them twice in the regular season, and I know with Eli on the road, man, that's a nasty combo. I don't want to mess with that. So, you know what? I don't even know who plays in this. I know Dallas has a bye in Atlanta. I think Green Bay. Shit, they beat Green Bay last time they played Green Bay in Green Bay. Damn bastards. Damn. Look, Aaron Rodgers Aaron Rodgers. I don't follow Green Bay. But Aaron Rodgers, do me a favor this week. If you don't win another fucking game in your career, beat Eli and the Giants this weekend. Just knock them the hell out the playoffs. And come on to Dallas. And come on to Dallas, and whatever. Just please, on behalf of Cowboy fans, Patriot fans, Green Bay, we love you. Take care of Eli and the Giants. If y'all lose it, Eli and the Giants, man, we don't even want to see y'all again. Till next, this is Doug Wilson signing off. I'll talk to you next week, hopefully with a smile on my face, because the Giants have been eliminated.